Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. What? It's not good afternoon? Okay, I have good news and bad news. And it's funny. So today is the last class. So I know for some of you, is the last one? Okay, it's the last lecture, but we have May 6th. You're supposed to know that, people. Thank you, Dr. Robin. So today is the last lecture, right? And today we have the craft of cooking. And the bad news is that it's raining, kind of. And at least my iPhone says it's raining. Even you go outside and it's not raining. So I'm wondering in what part of the world the guy that is feeding my iPhone with information. You know, I don't get it. But on paper is thunderstorms out there that they are supposed to kill X% of people, of all the things following down from the clouds. So unfortunately, we kind of canceled the paella, which I was about ready to cook for all of you. And we were going to make a paella to feed 500 people. So besides ourselves, we will have food to take home on what in America we call a doggy bag. Yeah, right? I would love to know how many people give the food really to the dogs. No, this is what goes through my brain. Why they call it doggy bags? Really, people give it to the dogs? Or really, anyway, that's Jose thinking, being straightforward. So anyway, today is the craft of cooking. We were going to do a paella, we can't. And what we're gonna do today is just cook. And I'm gonna show you videos. That's the videos I do in my professional life. Yes? Are you with me on this? So, how many of you cook using a microwave or something? How many of you have fire here in campus that you can use gas to cook? Everybody. So you have gas. Because I used to go to Hunter College when I was young, and I live in New York, and they only had a microwave. And it was very funny, the things. I mean, I didn't go Hunter College to study. I only had a lot of friends that went to Hunter College. So I would sneak in the dorms and things. And we would make things with a microwave. And it was amazing the good kind of things we could cook with only controlling the wavelength inside that thing, right? So we're not gonna cook today with a microwave. But going back, I was going to make a paella. I cannot make a paella. But I'm going to show you how we make a paella in Spain, and then how we make a paella at home with some of the videos I have from the time I had this TV show on PBS, which, by the way, I'm getting ready to film the 3rd season. So by now, after 12 weeks, right, Dr. Robin, 12 weeks, we've been seeing many things happening, right? From science to history to feeding the world to food safety, politics, hunger, obesity, health, food aid, marketing, supply chain, corporate responsibility, business. Amazing, right? So today is the craft of cooking. And for cooking, we need ingredients, right? And in the old days, you see me there in a photo, a cook like me. Some people, they call themselves a chef. I'm not there yet. Cook. I love to call myself a cook because in Spanish we call ourselves cocineros, and for us the word cocinero is a powerful word. We don't have to call ourselves chefs. You know, it's like chef or chief, that some people call me chief. It's like more the chief of staff. But I call myself a cocinero, and many of my friends would call ourselves cocineros, so we call ourselves cooks. Even for some weird reason, cook doesn't sound as sexy as cocinero, or at least I don't see chefs in America happy calling themselves cooks. Anyway, sorry I'm going through this kind of psychological kind of thing in my brain. But take a look at all the things we did. So I'm not gonna show you, you have the video? So let me go back to the supply chain. So in the old days, you see, right, the chef, that's me. I was 235 pounds there. I'm 250 now, sorry. We will go to the market. And the market was our only source of inspiration. That used to be the old days, right? To the degree I want to compare going to the market that if you go to the market during 10 years, 20 years of your life, as fun as it is, going to see the fish and the clementines on season and the baby green peas and today I ate sea cucumbers. How many of you ever had sea cucumbers? Sea cucumbers, no cucumbers from the sea cucumbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, so many of you still. I'm gonna invest in sea cucumbers. When you try sea cucumbers, your life is gonna change forever. Only because you will never eat again in your life. That was very serious, madam. That was the most serious statement I've made all season, all semester. Or you will wake up every morning thinking, oh, where is the next sea cucumber in my life? I go through life, where is the next sea cucumber in my life? That's how I go through life. And my life is through the next green peas. Sometimes I used to save money to have enough money to be on a plane, to go somewhere to eat something, because the short season, it happened. That's how I live my life, right? So in the old days, we used to go to the market. And I used to go to the market since I remember. So going to the market is very important. But today, because we need part of the supply chain and we need products, let me show you now how I get interested in looking for. No, put me the lionfish. So this is how we get ingredients, okay? Put noise. Put music volume up. Take a look at the egg in my... You're late, but we forgive you. Welcome. Take a look at this. This is the market, people. This is how we should be feeding the world. Markets are overrated. That's what we should do when we want to eat fish. Go down deep in the Potomac River, or doesn't matter where you are. The lionfish in the Caribbean. What is a lionfish doing in the Caribbean? He got lost looking for Nemo. We don't know, but he doesn't belong there. So we need to fish. Because if not, there's not gonna be any fish left. Yes, yes. High five. I didn't caught one, but I look like I did, right? TV is amazing. People of York, Washington, that's the new way to shop. No, you can clap. Okay. So I'm only telling you this because I'm telling you it's far way more exciting shopping for ingredients that way than going to the market. And hey, I am a market freak, okay? I can drive 2 hours to be in the right market. This Sunday, I went to the market, even was only 10 minutes left on my window because they were closing at 2 and I got there at 1:50. And I drove 1 hour and 10 minutes and my daughter was very unhappy because I made her drive for an hour for being 10 minutes in the market. But this is the way. So we go to the market, we get inspired. I told you I was going to give you a paella. Everybody knows what a paella is? Okay, who doesn't know what a paella is? If you don't know it, you get an A+. Great, I love honesty. Great. When we realize we know nothing is when really we began learning. So thank you. Yes. Dr. Robin, applause directly, whatever she's getting. Good. So a paella, right, is a typical dish from Spain. Spain, España, where I was born, where I come from, and probably is the most underrated, mistreated dish in the history of mankind. When people want to invite me to their homes, everybody's cooking paella for me. They're Chinese, they're Irish, they're Spanish, they're American, they're South African, they're Caribbean, Argentinian, I don't care. Everybody wants to cook paella for me. And I'm like, oh my God, again? And I tell my wife, can I cancel? Because it's beautiful what they put me through, right? Because they are looking at me, how I'm eating the first bite. And I'm like, why I've done to deserve that, God? Why they cannot cook something else, right? Use a burger from McDonald's will be a great day in my life. Okay, everybody wants to make paella. It's the most iconic Spanish dish. Almost everybody knows what it is. It's kind of a dish made out of rice, which the name comes from the pot. The pan is called paella. And the dish that you cook in the paella is called paella. But then through Twitter, I have every single person from Valencia, the home of paella, crushing on me every time one of you send me a tweet with your paella on the Sunday, and I do a tweet saying, good job. Everybody in Valencia blames me that I kind of gave you a blessing saying good job when you put chorizo and corn and lollipops and any other ingredient that technically doesn't belong to a paella, but it's like, I rather prefer people trying something and moving forward with something is not maybe perfect than not moving forward at all, right? So this is the idea of this show, which keeps moving forward, I don't know why. I'm gonna show you how a traditional paella is made, I hope. And then I'm gonna show you how I make a paella in my home. So next time you invite me, in 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, after you graduate and one day you'll come back to DC and you'll be in the Hill or you'll be in the World Bank or you'll be who knows where, at least you know how to feed me properly. So this is a very self-serving kind of class. Yeah. Let's start.
Even more, I love to walk around the fields. This time, I'm taking you to a rice field.
A rice field. Because without rice, it's not paella.
It's rice.
This is near La Albufera, where the river meets the sea.
Take a look at this. These gigantic sweetwater swimming pools will fill up almost half a meter around springtime. They will span the rice. Later, around October, the rice will be ready to be harvested. And from there, the imagination of these wonderful people will create.
Yes, I follow.
Dishes. But let's make ours. Paella Valenciana, the national dish in Valencia. ¿Qué tal?
This is a great restaurant outside Valencia.
Hello, ¿qué tal? Here, my friend Rafael makes paella like no one. Tío,
I'm speaking Catalan at that moment, in case you think it's my English.
What a paella. So you see, this is a family affair. The grandfather, Rafael, the son, Rafael, the grandson, Victor. Wow. Those ingredients of the real paella are simple. Good chicken and good rabbit. Local tomatoes, great green beans, and the garufo, the same flat bean I show you in the market. And what we're gonna do is cook it and cook it and cook it until it's very brown on the outside. If we give a very nice brown color, the pie is gonna be so much tastier. And you see, all the vegetables, the beans, the chicken, the rabbit, very roasted. Adding the water is gonna be boiling for a few minutes. What we are doing is creating a very nice, let's say, a stock, very flavorful. So you don't need to make a chicken stock. You're making the stock in the same paella head. The most important thing in paella is controlling the fire. If you control the fire, you will be an excellent paella maker. And obviously, time to put in the rice. Now is the moment of truth. Oh, if the stock is good, the paella, you know, is gonna be extraordinary. Hey! Now it's time to eat. It's not many times that you can eat one dish that when you eat it, somehow, it's like you are eating the farm, the landscape of a region. Wow! This paella may seem difficult, but you know what? It is not. And I think you and I were going back home because I'm going to show you how successfully you can cook paella, the Spanish style, right in America. Hold on.
Stop it. Okay, was good? Did I look like I was on steroids or on Ritalin or something? Yes, I was. Because we were behind, 5 hours behind. So everything you see there, actually, it happened in less time than the actual time you've seen live on TV. We did it so quickly, all right? And the father kept asking me, what do you say? What do you say? I was talking English. I'm like, shut up, let me talk. Because we were behind. We were like behind. We had to do 5 more things that day. And we only had like 3 hours left in the day. But anyway, what you saw there is a traditional paella valenciana. What do you think is the most important ingredient of everything we saw? The stock. Did I use a stock? What did I use? The water, right? It's very smart, right? You saw how much rabbit and chicken. We added the water. You boil it for 10 minutes before you add the rice. What are you doing is a stock at the same time. I mean, if you were Italian, you will boil the rice instead of the pasta, and then you will add it to the final thing. No. This is a smart use of water. It's the way it's always been done. Actually, it's very pure, right? So I asked about the most important ingredient, the stock. What's the most important ingredient in this dish? The rice. Valencia is one of the biggest producers of high-quality rice in the world. Chinese produce 1,000 times more, but this rice is called bomba, B-O-M-B-A. It's one type of rice, and it's another one called calasparra. So many of them, I don't even know them myself. But every rice behaves in a very different way. Me, I'm always with my rice. And when I go to the home of somebody, that usually when they invite me to go to their home, besides serving me paella, before they start cooking, they call me to the kitchen to cook it myself because they're lost. So this is brilliant. So first I have to eat an unedible paella, and then they bring me as the doctor, paella doctor. Jose, come over here. Can you fix the mess so my husband doesn't divorce me? Great job. So the rice ingredient? You got it, the fire. The fire was the most important ingredient in this dish. The fire and the smoke. Obviously, without rice, we wouldn't have it. Without water. But the fire was the most important. And this is, I cannot believe I'm 44 now and I look like my grandpa telling me stories of childhood. But that's what I'm about to do. One of the most unique moments in my life is I was probably 11, 12. My father would send me to go to the forest, pick up some branches, make the fire. And he would never let me put the spoon in the pot. And I was like, what the heck? Come on, man. I've been with you making this. I'm your boy. I'm your older son. Let me put the spoon in the pan. The fire. This is a traditional Spanish man. No much explanation about anything. But Daddy, I want to cook. The fire. Shut up. Great. So I got upset. I began screaming. He kicked me out. He sent me to the forest. When everything was finished, we fed like 100 people. My father would love to do this for his fellow friends. He got me on the side and he told me, my son, I know you wanted to cook. I know you wanted to put your finger in the stock. I know you wanted to put the spoon. I know you wanted to feel like you were a cook. But it's probably the biggest lesson my father ever taught me. He said, but actually I always gave you the most important role, which was making and controlling the fire. And he told me literally, if you control the fire, you'll be a cook. So imagine, I'm a chef. We control the fire. We're very happy. And we saw through this entire semester how sometimes a pot is the beginning of many of the problems, but if we control that pot, is the solution of many of the problems. So for me, that was very powerful. And since then, I never forgot, because I was very young, and this was an important moment. So the fire, you said, the most important, not only the fire, because it creates this kind of amazing boiling. Usually in a paella, if you open a cookbook, it will tell you 2 parts of water for 1 part of rice. You can throw that book garbage because it's never the case. And then the Italians, they tell you with risotto, keep adding water. So give me a break, you keep adding until it's ready. But the paella is a very mathematical science. You have to put the right quantity of water at the very beginning. And if you are a good cook of paella, at the very end, you never added anything else, which is brilliant. Doesn't happen all the time, but that's what you aim for. So here we saw that now the ingredients are not the most important, but controlling the fire. And in this case, the fire provides smoke and provides heat and provides, I didn't show it to you, but this paella was kind of semi-burnt in the bottom, which burnt, not black burn, but brown burn. And this is probably the most amazing moment in the history of mankind, when you are able to eat a paella, cook like that, and you are able to scratch with the spoon the bottom of the paella. In my home, we used to fight for the bottom. And we will exchange to my brother the top of the paella in exchange for the bottom of the paella. So, you want to see how I will make one paella home today? One rice dish? You want to see it? Oof, with excitement. I'm the only one excited today? I mean, I love that yes. Who said yes? You again? Another plus. Man. Okay.
And I'm going to show
Washington, D.C. people.
To be successful anytime you want to start making a paella. To make a great paella, we need great stock. Are you ready?
Who said the stock? You said the stock.
Olive oil, blue crabs. We are making the paella with lobster. So, you know the most flavorful part of the lobster? It's not the tail, believe it or not, but the head. So, the heads of the lobster are gonna be going also into this pot.
My father was not here to tell me you cannot put the spoon in the pot. I was so liberated.
The component of a successful paella is something we're going to call salmorra. And salmorra, let's say, is a sauce made out of tomatoes, ñora, this very unique sweet pepper from Spain, and garlic. We are only going to put them into the pan with the skin and all. This way we make sure the garlic doesn't burn. And while the garlic cooks, we're gonna get on the peppers. These beautiful dry ñora peppers. The best thing you can do is open them in half and putting them in water. This way they rehydrate, and we make sure that they don't burn once we put them in the pan with the garlic. And we can right now start adding the tomatoes into this pan. And the whole thing is going to start cooking and cooking until all of the tomatoes become kind of a marmalade. And so while the stock is happening and the salmorra finished cooking, let's get the rest of the ingredients. We're gonna cut the lobster tails and squid into medallions and cut the lobster claws in half. And the other ingredients are mushrooms. Here we have chanterelles, hen of the woods, and oyster. Well, they will go into the paella. Now, let's go back to the salmorra. Well, now it's the moment to get the blender and make this into perfect, beautiful, nice puree. Salmorra goes into the stock. Now we wait for the whole thing to come back to a boil. And now we're ready to strain the whole thing. Beautiful. Are you ready to go outside and start cooking this paella? Yes? Me, I'm ready. Let's go. Who takes care of the table? When I was a a kid, my father will cook with me paella.
Oh my God, I thought, sorry, now you know
Here
it.
in America, every family is said to be celebrating great barbecues in the backyard.
Okay, who's gonna help me with the lobster?
Let's mix my tradition of growing with a paella every Sunday with the barbecue in America. We'll use the grill to cook the paella. I think this is a brilliant idea.
So the lobster, we're gonna sear it. Oh, beautiful. And what we want is to sear the lobster very quick because we don't want to overcook it. And now, Carlota, I need the squid. Can you put this? Careful, okay? So now the squid go into the pan. Carlota, ¿me puedes dar las setas? All right. So we're gonna put some of the chanterelles, some of the oysters. Okay, who's adding some salt? All right. A little bit more. Yes. No more. For 1.5 cups. Of
Salt is important.
We're gonna do 3 cups and a little bit more of the stock. Are you following? Great. We go?
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Lucia, you're gonna put the saffron here. Put a little bit of saffron. Yes, but a little bit because saffron is very expensive.
Oh my God, it's like 5 years I don't see this.
Very good. So now let's wait until the whole thing comes back to a boil. That's what pie is all about. Family and great Sundays. Carefully start, okay? So now is the moment to add the rice. Beautiful. In 15 minutes, this paella will be ready. But first we need to make sure that the rice is perfectly mixed all across the paella pan. Inés, are you gonna eat the paella? All of it? You're gonna leave me some for me, no? Well, more or less for 5 minutes has passed. And take a look. Now make sure that the rice is not sticking to the bottom. And now is the moment to add the lobster. You see, we put the medallions right there, all around. You wanna help me? But careful, it's hot, okay? So you see, after 5 minutes, we never introduce a spoon again. Why? Because don't you see it's like a very beautiful layer right on the top, like a skin is forming? Well, this is actually helping us to cook this paella as it was an oven. The skin will make sure that the rice cooks evenly. If we introduce a spoon anywhere, we will break that film and some parts will be undercooked. So never let anyone introduce anything inside the rice after the 5th minute. Hey, now everything is ready.
Oh.
Inés, what do you think? Carlota, is ready?
Yeah.
Let's go to eat rice. Who wants rice? Good. Man, we have a good day today. We learned so many things about Valencia.
Okay, now can you cook a paella? Oh, oy, 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 oy. Can you cook a paella now? I was a bad teacher, what happened? So now, tonight, you go and you download this video and you watch it 10 times until you learn. But anyway, you saw the difference, right? We went to the source, we went to the market, we cooked, we came to America, and now we try to recreate here. And see how life changes, right? If one day I was hoping that every home in America will be cooking paella using the Weber. Who has a Weber home? Or you know, anybody that has one? Only 3 of you? Only 5 of you? Man, I thought everybody in America had a Weber grill. We call it Weber, right? How we call it? The Weber? Anyway, I have like 10 because they keep sending me one every year and I don't know what to do with them. So if any one of you needs one, just let me know. All right, so this is traditional cooking. Who knows about minibar? I'm by, great. Who's eaten at minibar? Who got a reservation? You did? Hey, hola, how are you? So besides one, that's good. That means you're a student, you are earning your degree, so you can afford one day to come. Yeah, that was like a joke, kind of. I'm not doing this so I can fill up minibar. You know what I mean? Like in 20 years from now, like finally. Anyway. But by the way, use look because once a year, sometimes I do open house, and we let people come minibar, and we do one dish, only one. But it's a great way for people that maybe cannot come and for 5 minutes enjoy the restaurant, right? We did it one year with the Philly cheesesteak, and we had such a big line outside that at the end I got kind of in trouble with the city, I think, but anyway, that's okay. All right, so minibar. So I'm gonna give you an 11-minute video of what will be eating a minibar. Are you with me? You wanna do that? Are you happy with that? But we are not gonna do that yet. Who knows Del Chihuly? Del Chihuly. Mrs. Robin, Anita. Okay, let me pronounce with my English. Del Chihuly, Seattle. Anybody from Seattle? Chihuly, no clue? Okay. Do we have a photo of Del Chihuly there? Del Chihuly is an artist. In Seattle, he blows glass, and he makes chandeliers, and he goes around the world, and he goes to Venice. But give them a piece of his art. No, big one. No. Ah, that. Yeah, that's Del Chihuly. So he goes to Venice. You know Venice is a city in Italy. That was a joke. Yeah. Venice, yeah? And so he goes in the channels of Venice, and he fills up the entire city with thousands of his bowls and chandeliers and glass, whatever. Look at how beautiful is the things he does. So I told you I go to the market for inspiration, right? It's okay. I love it, but you know what I mean. Then I go and I want lionfish, I go hunting for lionfish, right? But ingredients, you said about the smoke, such an interesting class, right? You said, I believe you, you were looking, you're good. I'm not putting you in evidence, believe me. You said the smoke, right? And smoke is an ingredient. Who likes smoked salmon? I do, I love it. It's an important ingredient, which also is a method of preserving, it's a method of cooking, it's many things at once, but it is an ingredient. He is an ingredient. Who goes to Mass on Sundays? Well, I don't go for the last 9 months, I'm not like that. But when my wife makes me go, or the synagogue, or religion can be an ingredient. Like, I can do an entire menu using religion as an ingredient. And you may say, Jose, that's not an ingredient. That's inspiration. Well, inspiration is an ingredient, because without inspiration, I cannot cook anything. So let me tell you what happens when I go to Seattle. I move away from my comfort zone. When you move away from your comfort zone, if you are not afraid, it's a very important tool. And I go to work with Del Chihuly. I work with him 2 days. I break one teeth, because in the moment he makes me blow, because I have 3 pieces made by me. And he's there and tells me, blow, blow, blow into the tube. All your air in, and then I don't know what he does. He puts the metal thing into my mouth, breaks my teeth, and in that moment he's telling me my mouth is full of broken teeth pieces, and he's telling me, blow, blow, and I don't know what to do. I blow, and the entire glass is full of mini teeth parts, which is probably the most unique piece he's ever made. Actually, it's mine. So, that was the risk, but it was worth it. But take a look, one dish we did inspired on Chihuly going around the world, on Chihuly putting his creations into different environments, like castles in Scotland, or channels in Venice, or in the desert of Monterrey, Mexico, or I don't know, anywhere in the world. And we did a celebration of spring, we're in spring, a celebration of the garden, and a celebration of the chihuli. So what you are about to see is very unique. Bring the music. It's the first time ever that we were able to caramelize olive oil using isomalt, which is a type of sugar. Take a look what happens when we use gravity of Mr. Newton and controlling isomalt. We are able to caramelize olive oil. Stop it, stop it. This is so unique, like if you know what this is, you will be like, wow. Put it back, I'm gonna give them another chance. I don't need it for me, I need it for you. You need to be aware of what's new and what's not, even if you don't like it. Let's see how you do it. Not yet, when it breaks, okay?
Wow.
Man, you're hard. Good, now you know that it's unique. So if it's not unique, I'm gonna ask you one thing. Go home, get sugar, get oil, and try to caramelize olive oil. All right? And when you do it, you call me. So that's how unique this is, okay? So with this, we were able to create this kind of crunchy explosion of olive oil in the mouth. And if you see, this is an homage to Del Chihuli. That's not the only thing we did, but that's the easier one to first year undergrads of George Washington to understand. Now I know it was a low punch, I know. Come on, we are one. We're buddies, come on. You understand what I'm talking about here. So we keep going. So this is very important, this is Chihuli. And now we're gonna create the gardens inspired in what he gets inspired. So this is tiger nuts. We call them in Spain chufas, and we make a sweet drink in the summer with cinnamon, lemon peel, and sugar. And believe me, if you try this, your life will change forever. Also comes from Valencia. Here we made it into a savory soup. So take a look at this, okay? Stop it there. Espherification. From a sphere. Espherification. Who knows about this technique? 1, 2, 3, 4, that's good. 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't worry, the rest of you, that's why you're here in university. Espherification is the power to transform a liquid into a self-enclosed sphere. And you're gonna say, what the heck, I want this in my life, Jose? Well, you're probably right. I don't know. But I'm gonna show you what do we do. So here we're about to make a tomato. Not any tomato, but the tomato that is liquid. Doesn't sound like delicious? Because tomatoes, come on, think about it. You put the tomato in your mouth. You have to, you look like a cow or a beef for 1 minute. Think about meat for a second. Who likes meat? Okay, a steak versus burger. A steak versus burger. Who prefers the steak? Who prefers the burger? The steak wins though. You know why I like the burger better? Because again, I don't look like an animal munching for 5 minutes of my life in the table and not allowing me to have a conversation. You put a piece of meat in your mouth and you are like, okay, first 5 seconds, what happens? Your teeth are in action, right? They're breaking all the fibers, the juices flow around your mouth, and you are like, I'm so happy to be a thinking animal, right? It's so delicious, right? Great. In the moment that deliciousness goes away, it's almost like human relationships, right? The first week is very interesting, and then like, man, she only likes red flowers, so he only likes go to the science fiction. You know what I'm talking about. It's not any different. I've been 20 years with my wife, and I love every minute, but you know. But she's not here, God's sake. Forget what I said. Okay, so you put a piece of meat in your mouth, and what happens? The first 5 seconds are what? Unbelievable. That comes from Shakespeare. Unbelievable, meaning more than unbelievable. The next 25 seconds are the worst disaster in the history of mankind. Because at least a lion puts everything quickly in, but as we're there, because we're polite, you know, you can spit wine when you are wine tasting, but you're gonna spit the meat, the tasteless piece of thing that you have in your mouth, in a bowl going around. Man, me, I hate it. And that's why we've been working on a meatless steak, which is very good, by the way. So this is the example of giving you the essence. This is why we only want to give you those 5 seconds of wow. It's like sex without the relationship. You know? Okay, let's go with it. So what happens there was we have tomato water, tomato juice, the best tomato you can. Stop a second. And in the tomato juice, we add something called gluconolactate. Gluconolactate. And you're gonna say, wow, what's going on? We went from traditional paella to use names the professor dash called chef dash called cook dash called José cannot even pronounce. Gluconolactate. Okay, who likes yogurt? Your yogurt is full of gluconolactate, people. So don't freak out. It's a type of calcium, very natural. We put the gluconolactate into the tomato water. And in the water where the tomato is going, we have sodium alginate. It's a salt that comes from the seaweed. Are we clear? A salt that comes from the seaweed. The same way that the sugar comes from the sugar cane. We get it? So we like sugar, now began to love sodium alginate. Same thing. So in that moment, it's a reaction, and it's a gelation. A gelatin forms in the outside of the tomato water. So take a look how the spheres are formed one by one. And now we are not happy enough. We don't only have baby tomatoes, we put them in a dehydrator, 4 hours, 68 Celsius degrees. Why? Because look at what happened. You see when we cut it, how it still is liquid inside? Unbelievable. So now we make a dry tomato, and we put them in olive oil with garlic and rosemary. And you're gonna say, but Jose, why you don't buy the dry tomatoes from Italy and don't complicate your life? My mother knows how to do that. I'm a cook. We cook. We have to push the envelope, yes? Keep going. The spring salad, all the ingredients. Okay, I don't know half of them, okay? Because my guys keep changing. I'm like, what the heck is this? So, and now we began creating the garden that celebrates the spring. And here we put, this is a hot gelatin, this is a morel, this is a chanterelle, asparagus, a white asparagus, a baby potato, tiny green peas, fava beans, physalis, baby carrots, the dried tomatoes we made, rhubarb, radishes, baby spinach, narcissium leaf, narcissium flowers. I can make that up because you will not know any better, hopefully. baby radishes, sprouts, squash blossoms, borage flowers, other flowers, all legal flowers, thyme flowers, the Delci Huli inspired caramelized olive oil, and we finish with salt, and we finish with the soup. So this is like a soup salad, Venice, channels, spring garden art, all at once. You cool or no? Yeah? Okay, only questions I know the answer, right? How much it cost? How much it cost? I mean, less than the scholarship here, but I lose money. I subsidize that plate. Let's put it this way. And it doesn't matter how much I charge. It costs more than people will understand to afford. I bought the Google glasses 3 days ago, and I'm like a stupid, look at myself in the mirror, like, go home, you know, like. At the end now understands me. Now, finally, I don't know what happened with the last iPhone 5S, whatever, understands me finally. I've been able to call the washerman. I called a washerman the other day. Anytime was an S, double S in the middle of a last name, is no way he could understand me. Now, washerman, calling washerman. Like, wow. I'm so happy, so proud of myself. Anyway, I don't know why I told you that, but it's always a way. But a meal like this can cost $400 or $500, you see, between wine and tip and everything. And you say, this is worth that? I'm telling you, this is worth more than Google Glass. And it costs you $1,500 and doesn't fit me. You know, and I'm about to throw them against the... And then I realize now I don't see well. I have a problem with my eyes and I had to do something else so I can see this stupid screen on my right eye so I can cook and talk on the phone at the same time. It's like, I'm stupid or I'm crazy. So that's life. Oof. So it's expensive, but what expensive is? To me, a burger at McDonald's is expensive. You used to come up with all of these, and we make these for 24 people once a day. Unemployment will be over if every dish in America will be like this, I can tell you that. Unemployment will be over. Only we have to make dishes more complicated. You understand what I mean? Simple. Unemployment is over. I'm all willing to pay a little bit more. Zero unemployment. Growth. I mean, 2 pieces of bread, which is actually the same bread, into one, and a piece of bad meat. That's a dish? Shit, yes. I like it, that's the issue. Like, why I like it. Anyway, and then you have a moron coming to eat this, and instead of eating one thing by one thing, he gets the fork and the knife, and he starts smashing everything up. And you are like, what are you doing? And some of them, they're food critics. And you are like, what? Imagine an art critic going to the Metropolitan and just getting a marker and painting something because he doesn't like the smile of Mona Lisa that is visiting. I don't know. It's amazing. So I have people, and then they go and they do this, and they smash the olive oil in the plate with a fork. And I'm like, what? You're supposed to grab this and put it in your mouth and let it explode. So imagine how difficult it is, right? We're talking about learning how to cook. What about learning how to eat? It's unbelievable, right? And at the same time, if people pay, you say, but Jose, people pay, they can do whatever they want with your food. No way, Jose. You understand what I mean? And it's not about pretentiousness. It's not me. I have many people working to come up with those dishes. Sometimes it takes us 5 years to come up with one of those. And we have many like those. So, minibar, are you ready? What time is it? Plenty of time, right? Who likes clementines? Great. I got these tangerines from California. Stop it, I'm not gonna put that video again. The clementines. I'm gonna show you what you can do with one clementine. Are you with me? Only one clementine. It's very funny, right? Because I was bringing down all these things from the dictionaries and Wikipedia, and then puts cooking or cookery is the art of preparing food for consumption with the use of heat. Do you see much heat here? Are we cooking? Amazing, right? How things are changing. We went from no heat, right? He was breaking, an apple away from a tree and then putting humanity in total sin for the rest of our lives, right? By not following God, Adam, Eve giving Adam the apple, and like, what the heck? Now we are sinful all our lives. So one of the first ingredients, breaking an apple from a tree is cooking. Because you need to know the time of the day you do it. How many of you ate a cherry from a tree? Don't lie to me. How many of you ate a cherry from the tree? Great. How many of you ate a cherry from the tree without breaking the stem of the cherry and leaving the pit on the stem, on the cherry, on the tree? I've done it too. I won so many bets, it's amazing. I'm an expert. And the friend that did the most was the big winner. Okay. The cherries in the middle of May, where I come from, if you ate them at 3 a.m., that the temperature is roughly 10 Celsius degrees, was a different cherry that if I ate the cherry when we were at 35 Celsius degrees. It's not the same to eat a cherry when it's at 45 Fahrenheit degrees than if you are eating the same cherry at 110 Celsius degrees. They are two different products. So technically, eating out of a tree is cooking. And eating it at the right temperature is a way to also cook, because you are deciding when are you eating it and at what temperature you are eating that cherry, okay? Anyway, are you ready for the clementine? One clementine, cooking, controlled cooking, sous vide technique. Everybody will cook sous vide in the years to come, or not. But it's a great technique if you want to have total control of your relationship with the clementine. Yeah. Clementine. Okay, Spanish clementines, okay? If I was in California, they will be California clementines. So any of these videos, you can do whatever you want. So we boil it only to take the bitterness and out of the skin. We put them in ice to stop the cooking right there. Even you're gonna say it doesn't make sense because we're about to cook them again, but it does a lot of sense. Because we were boiling at 100 degrees. Now we put them with syrup, is what we call simple syrup, 50% water, 50% sugar. And we put them in these bags and we take the air out, okay? And we cook them for 2 hours. What was the temperature? 80 degrees. Well, stop. So we cook these clementines 2 hours. Take a look at them. They look like they've never been cooked. It's like when we got into the sauna. We leave the sauna or we leave the jacuzzi like if we were never cooked. That's the same thing we did to this clementine. And then we take the skin of inside the clementine. What do we have now is a caramelized skin of the clementine. Are you with me? It looks like it was never cooked. Only a beautiful jacuzzi in the middle of the winter. So now we're gonna make two juices, one with the cooked clementines and one with raw clementines. And I'm trying to figure out why we did so many, but that's for another day. So now we are gonna dehydrate that juice at 65 degrees. Why? Because I don't want to boil it, because I want that juice to keep all its properties. And then a little bit we are going to cook it because we have to mix gelatin, because we are about to make a sauce. And gelatin is an amazing way not to make jello, but to make a sauce. If you put less gelatin, you will have a sauce. And now we are adding here some syrup, some of the cooked juice of the clementine. And with one, we're gonna make a sorbet, and with the other, we're gonna make a sauce. And you will see it in 1 minute. Now we get pumpkin seeds, and we're gonna caramelize them. And we cook until the sugar is 103 Celsius degrees. You do your own mathematics to learn about Fahrenheit. And we're gonna caramelize the pumpkin seeds 2 times. So we make sure they're really roasted, they're really caramelized, and really dry. Then we're gonna add a little bit of salt, and take a look. We get the clementine, we fill it up with clementine sorbet, and then with the other clementine, the fresh one, the one we mix with the gelatin, we make this sauce, and we fill it up with pumpkin oil. Now we put the pumpkin caramelized seeds, some baby basil, some rosemary flowers. We are gonna slice a segment of the caramelized skin with the sorbet of clementine. We put it on the plate. Ladies and gentlemen, clementines and pumpkin seeds that you can make at home. So you're gonna ask me again, and how much that dish cost? Too much. But I don't do it for that. We serve 30 courses like this, you know, and you leave hungry or full. Most people leave hungry. But actually, no, most people leave full, but it's so light that you can eat again, which is great for my business. Because I will be a moron if I told you I want people to cook so they cook at home all the time. Yeah, right. What do you think I go so quickly teaching you how to make the paella? I'm gonna undermine my own future? No way. All right. I think now you're ready to. Are you unsure? I mean, is your girlfriend waiting for you outside? You wanna see Kim? So, ladies and gentlemen, I think now I have you in this sweet moment that now you understand what minibar may be. So we're gonna do a video, we're gonna stop 1 or 2 times. But imagine that you are Kim, all right? Imagine you are Kim. Kim is the person who's gonna help you travel like if you were a minibar with me without having to pay $500. Cool, cheap, and great for obesity because you are not eating, but you are experiencing the same thing. I mean it. This is a very affordable way to go to restaurants. Just, you know. I'm about to do how to lose weight with José Andrés. 3 videos a day for a month. Welcome to the team. I mean, this could be a good business project. Anybody interested? Talk to me. So we're gonna go through minibar, okay? And it's experience of minibar, and then we're gonna see 3, 4 recipes. All very simple. You're gonna see some of the new creations for, what year are we? 214th, okay? Okay, so we're working already on 215th, that's why I get confused. So, welcome to minibar. Okay, I told my team to follow up somebody around minibar. I didn't tell them follow up somebody from their home. So careful with your messages when you are in a leadership role, okay? When my wife saw that, believe me, she was not too happy. She's a very conservative lady. So welcome minibar. So in minibar, we didn't show them this video, right? So minibar has no walls because walls are no good for humanity. We have to bring down the walls.
How's everyone doing?
And this is a cocktail that you are gonna smell. You're not gonna drink it because by the time you get the check, I want you to be able to pay and remember who you were. And it's no good business when you're feeding people to load them with things that don't allow them to be in full control of their senses. So this is a Parmesan cookie we make, savory, light. In France, they call it cannelé. It's something fascinating from Bordeaux. We made it into Parmesan and we moved to Italy. So you see the place. The kitchen is in front of, we don't like even to call them guests. These people are experiencing a moment with us. I mean, they're paying, but. And here we are making a empanadilla or a turnover, but we are using cotton candy. Why? Because cotton candy can be so many more things. Cotton candy told me one day, I am tired to be cotton candy. Everybody eats me in the same way. Can I become different? So take a look at this, mojito. Stop there. Who knows a mojito? You. So, what you saw is a espherification of a mojito. Now you know what a espherification is. But now we are going 2.0. And you're going to see what that means. So first we're going to show you a video that we did almost with the iPhone, half of it, a traditional mojito. And then we're going to move into the avant-garde mojito. Even it's only food for thought. In order for something to be avant-garde, you need to know what the tradition is. It's like if you never saw a painting in your life, and you see Picasso, and you're like, you know, it's all in reference to what you know. So that's why here you're gonna see a traditional mojito and a modern mojito. Because if I'm giving this same class in Shanghai, and they don't know what a mojito is in Shanghai, they think that the traditional mojito is the actual modern. You understand what I mean? Like, it's all depends the reference of the knowledge we have in our brain. So here you're gonna see the traditional and the modern. Let's go. Perfect. So that's mint. So that's the sugar, the limes. We squeeze them. We then shake it, a traditional mojito. Now, we have mint, glucose, xantana, the dry mint. The xantana is a type of help us to give body to different liquids, okay? Xanthan gum. And we blend it with the lime juice, some of the syrup, and it's also the algin bath, the sodium alginate of before. Is that clear? And also the mojito has the gluconolactate as before. So here we have a perfect sphere of a mojito mix. But take a look what happens now. This is the 2.0. We put it in the bottle and we put CO2. Like if you were drinking a soda, okay? Or a Coke. We'll put it inside for 10 minutes. All the gas is penetrating through the skin and is getting inside the bowl. Take a look. Right now, this mojito bowl is carbonated. When you put this in your mouth, it's gonna be fizzy like there is not tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, mojito 2.0. Look at the bubble. Bah! And minibar continues. We bring you popcorn and we bring you liquid nitrogen. Because if we can fry at 300 degrees, why we cannot liquid nitronize at -200? Same thing, cooking. Look at what happened, the dragon breath. Why? Because we are dragons if we want to. And those are the ducks with apples and foie gras. Yeah, and this is a salad baked into a sandwich. The Waldorf salad. And this is fattoush with an edible paper rice. Sorry. And this is uni. Who likes uni? Who likes sea urchin? I love sea urchin. I love going for them. I told you about my troubles. No, not troubles, troubles. I have many troubles, but my troubles, okay? No, it was a joke, okay? January is sea urchin season in Spain. And it's my favorite moment in my life because I go to these kind of old, dirty bars, north of Spain, nobody's there. And I only have 1,000 sea urchins in front of me. And I love that moment in my life. And I open them, they open them for me, and I only eat. But it gets boring after 200, gets boring. So we went to Asia, many markets, anywhere, from Beijing to Singapore to Shanghai. And it's these ice creams that is this kind of ice tube that they kind of rotate, right? And they began kind of slicing in the bottom, and you get this kind of very gooey kind of ice cream of different flavors. So we got this inspiration from a sweet ice, the shave ice, but it's not shave ice, it's almost like shave ice cream. And we made into our savory uni shave dish. So take a look, very simple, only 3 ingredients. So we get live sea urchin, those ones are American. And we make dashi. Everybody knows what dashi is, right? We get water, we make an infusion with seaweed. This type of seaweed is called kombu. And we are making like a tea. Put more voice. And this is the bonito flakes that then we put, and also we make an infusion. We don't like it to boil. And there we have dashi. And now we get tapioca, and we are gonna boil the tapioca until gelatinizes, and we take it out. And then we are gonna add soy, and the tapioca is gonna absorb the soy sauce. And then we get, this is the tapioca with it. This is the sea urchin with the dashi. And we make a puree. Simple flavors. And we freeze it. Bring the lights. And now we shave it. The lights. No, don't touch. And you see how we shave it? I don't know, when I was younger, I used to have my pencil, right? And every day, I would do it 300 times a day. That's why I never learned much, because I was always with my pencil. What the heck, why it breaks? This reminds me of that moment in my childhood. And this is the uni, shave uni. And then we get this beautiful plate looking like a sea urchin once we clean all the spikes, and here we put the sea urchin, the tapioca, ginger, oil, and we finish with the shaved ice on top. That's the sea urchin that you saw that we mixed with the dashi, that we froze, that we slice. I don't know what happened here. I think they wanted to finish the music because now it's gonna be 4 minutes, like if this was Star Wars and we had destroyed the Black Star with a perfect shot. Anyway. Okay, that was good, right? Are you hungry? We keep going. This is my favorite song. You can cook with music, and you can music with cooking. And this is a very deep thought, but you can. Hey. Good, she liked it. This is great. We are in a spring. What happens in a spring when you are high in the lakes and the mountains? That the lakes freeze. Imagine that we are able to recreate the moment that the lake freezes and the moment that the lake breaks. That's that moment in the plate. Next time I'll do this video for you. That one is amazing. And here we are using this technique. The French call this papillon, right? That you put it in a piece of paper and the steam cooks whatever is inside. We did this with enoki mushrooms that we only use the top, the little umbrella on top. And we slice black truffle. Why? Because we can. This is simple ingredients, very simple, very minimalist. The technique of spherification now doesn't need to be a sphere anymore. Now we can do carrots, looking like carrots, but liquid. Carrots and coconut. Now we can do any form we want. And who likes pasta? Who likes pesto? Who likes parmesan? A Spanish guy can make pesto and pasta as good as Mario Batali. Where are you, Mario? I'm challenging you. So take a look at this, it's very cool. This is one of our big dishes for the year. So here we are making a tea of Parmesan cheese. Why? Because I'm tired to eat Parmesan in the normal way. And now we have an infused water of Parmesan. And here we have 2 gelatins. One is called kappa and one is gelan. One is very soft, the other is very hard. One you can cook and the gelatin will not melt. Fascinating. We'll talk about them another day. So here we have this water, Parmesan in one side, and we have this water with the gelatins, kappa and gelan. Liquid nitrogen, okay? We are boiling the pasta at minus 250 plus degrees. We broke 6 corkscrews and we did this kind of homemade utensil. And we dip it in the liquid nitrogen and we put it in the water. And take a look what happens. We were able to create a pasta not using any flour, any wheat, anything. And now what we have is this hollow pasta. Now it's kind of semi-soft, but this gelatin has a property that is gonna be able to absorb liquid. We're gonna put them in the Parmesan water, and because the salt content in the Parmesan, they're gonna get harder. And then we're gonna make a pesto, basil, garlic, pine nuts, some salt, some more Parmesan. We have to help Italy. And then we get the syringe. And the syringe is great to use for many more things than in hospital and other places. And we're gonna fill it up, and it's a self-contained pesto Parmesan pasta. We boil the eggs. We don't cook our eggs at any temperature but 145. We put the egg broken. We put the pesto pasta parmesan. We put white truffle. Why? Because we can. We only had truffle. And then we put this salt from England, Maldon salt. We put this baby Mizuna and baby basil. Ladies and gentlemen, the pasta with parmesan, okay? Yes, you can clap. I let you do that. I hope you're getting full because we're getting to the end here. She's getting drunk, I can tell you that. This is the squad. Now we give you some meat in case you are living hungry. Smelling, very important, smell your food. If your food doesn't smell delicious, don't eat it, people of George Washington.
It's a sweet wine. It's really cold.
Oh, we sell the wine by the gram because we're so expensive that we began selling it by the gram. It's a new technique, it's very unique. Controls the oxygen inside the bottle. Okay, stop there. You remember the Chihuly technique? 2.0 Chihuly technique. We cannot do it with water because Isomal is hydrophobic, means he's highly afraid of water. In another life, sugar and water, they got into a confrontation, I guess. And now Isomalt is highly hydrophobic because he's really afraid. Anyway, so that's why it works with oil. But here, 2.0. The same sugar, meeting new friends. I mean, ingredients meet people too. They have a freedom of, yeah. So take a look what we're doing with foie gras and sugar. We call it foie gras bomb. Don't say that if you are in the airport. Believe me, you get in trouble. I know it. So foie gras, water, and because it has a lot of fat, the Isomal. Who goes to Starbucks? Don't tell me, don't, okay. Do you see to make the whipped cream? That's with nitro oxide, it's great way. Same technique. We are able to put that foie gras with water, all the high fat content of the foie. Take a look, that's the same sugar. Beautiful, looks like a bubble. And now use the gravity, we are able to self-enclose a mousse in what is the lightest form of a bonbon, if you want to call it, in the history of mankind. Some sugar, some cocoa powder. Ladies and gentlemen, foie gras and sugar. Anybody from Vermont? Anybody from Montreal? The beautiful maple syrup on top of the snow. I got my tongue attached to the maple syrup, like, why is this so cold? So here we are recreating the snow with the maple syrup right in the middle of the forest. This is a liquid cake with a hot meringue and a liquid center.
We're going to transfer over to our cocktail lounge bar menu. Jose likes to imagine the experience like dining in his house. So we welcome you to the living room, you ate dinner in the kitchen, and now we're going to finish at the bar.
And this is now bar mini. We go from mini bar to bar mini. Now you almost paid the bill. We got your credit card. I don't mind you have a drink or 10. So those are the petit fours, as the French we call them. We like to call them little endings. This is how we are smoking one ice cube using wood in the middle of the restaurant. This is a liquid caipirinha. We use nitro also to make it, liquid nitrogen. This is the cake, only using sugar, cotton candy. So you don't have to look for your calories. Really light. you drink, don't drive. Me han dicho que el sitio es increíble. ¿Han cenado bien? They told me the place is really good. Did you eat well? Okay. The music down, music. Good. Music down. Good. All right. So, probably to learn the craft of cooking, we were supposed to start 28 years ago, all of us, to really go through everything that cooking is, right? Where I grew up, in Europe, I thought that the only cooking was the cooking we did in Spain and a country in the north of Spain called France or something like that. And another one to the right, they call it, today is called Italy, and that's it, right? And our vision is so narrow, right? You began living the world, and the techniques we use in Spain and France and Italy has nothing to do with the techniques in Latin America, has nothing to do with the techniques in Asia. So this is the fascinating, right? When I grew up, quite frankly, I knew about maybe 4% of what's happening around the world, or 3 or 2. So imagine how narrow it is, and it still is a lot to learn, right? So the craft of cooking is fascinating. The fun part is that today we saw some science. I gave you some background on the inspiration. So very much through cooking, kind of today we touch on everything. Creativity, del chihuli, business, because we saw many business models right there. History, because only going through a paella you can learn about Spain the last 2,000 years, or through the fire you can learn about the last 200,000 years. So it's fascinating how the craft of cooking itself can be used pure cooking. You know it or you don't. If you practice, you'll be good. But if you think about it, it can be so much more.